Hello and welcome to another OuterPlane video. In this video I'm going to be talking about the gear system in OuterPlane, including the armor, the weapons, the accessories, the substats, the weapon passives, the gear sets and everything of that sort that would be helpful to a beginner that is starting out during global release. Now I apologize if I am stuttering or my brain is fried because this is I can barely talk. This is my third time recording this video. The first time the game audio wasn't recording. The second time there was a lot of thunderstorms and a lot of raining going outside, so it actually completely ruined the recording. So this is like already 40 minutes of wasted recording and just me talking to myself. But third time's the charm, so hopefully this time I don't choke the recording. Right. Gear sets. I'm gonna be taking it part by part. I don't have a script. I'm just going off of what I know as someone that's been playing the game for a month during soft launch. This account is not a month old. This account is like 2 weeks old, but I've been playing this game for a month because I've had multiple accounts before this one. Anyways, let's start by talking about armor because the simplest part of about the gear. Your armor is going to have, a gear set. Some sets are going to require 4 sets to form a gear set. Some sets are going to only require 2. For example, the attack set, if I can find it. Yeah, this one. Actually, this is the crit chance one. Crit chance is the same. It only requires 2. Crit chance plus 12%. And then if you have a 4 set, it's going to add an additional 8% crit chance. Same with attack, actually. If I can find an attack set like this, right? 2% is going to be 25%. 2 sets are going to be 25%. 4 sets are going to add an additional 15%. Early on, you're actually going to be using the 2 set attack and then 2 set crit rate, crit chance. But late game, you don't really need the crit chance because you're getting it from the substats already. So you're going to be using the 4 set crit damage most of the time, or the 4 set speed as the late game build, even for your DPS, but that's besides the point. Now this is gear, right? You have your gear set. Now you have your gear and then you have your your weapon and accessories. Now weapons do not have a gear set, accessories do not have a gear set. Weapons actually can have a passive, but it needs to be a legendary weapon. Accessories also have different passives, but they need to be legendary as well. Now, as you can see, there is a sign right here. There's an attack sign, and this basically means that this legendary accessory can only be equipped on your attackers. They can be equipped on your mage, they can't be equipped on your healers, on your rangers, on your defenders. They can only be equipped on your attacker. Now the sign above it is basically the passive. This is the crit damage sign, which means that your passive is a crit damage passive, has a 50% chance to increase critical damage by 50% for 1 turn when inflicted with a debuff at the start of the turn, which is actually really good, but it's very, very dependent on the situation, right? It's very situational. Also, the character class that it is tied to is also another very big downfall, because if you go to your hero list and you go to your battle type, right here, these are the classes. You have your defender, your ranger, actually this is your attacker, your ranger, your mage, and then your healer. Every single legendary weapon or accessory have a random chance to go to one of your classes, which just adds another layer of RNG to the type of legendary weapon that you can get. So actually getting a valid legendary weapon or accessory that has, first, a good main stat, second, the right class, third, good substats, and fourth, which is another layer which I will talk about later, is high substat rolls. I'm going to talk about that later. It's just 4 layers of RNG on top of each other, which makes it almost impossible to get a good 6-star legendary weapon that has all the stats that you need. So this is why you can see that Mino is using all epic gear, and this is what most in-game builds are going to look like, except this one is going to also be an epic 6-star gear, which I am still looking for one. I'm looking for a crit damage one, but I Just my luck is just awful, so I couldn't find one. But the moment I find a crit damage epic 6-star gear with good substats, I'm immediately replacing this one. Just because even though this passive is good, it's very situational, and I don't really need the crit chance, and it's only a 5-star. You actually get this one from the missions. I didn't even get this one with luck. I'm not that lucky to get this one. It's like perfect substats, good main stat, legendary accessory for an attacker. It's like I'm not that lucky, right? Weapons also have passives if they're legendary, like this one. When performing an action, increase crit hit chance by 1% each time. Basically 10% free crit chance over time. Also only for your attacker. I should go to the inventory and I'll show you. This one is only limited to defenders. Has a 40% chance to increase the priority of the caster by 15% when attacked. This passive is insane, but again, very situational, and I'm not going to have the crit chance main stat on my defenders, right? Like a wasted stat for a defender. Now, legendary armor is not tied to any class, fortunately, but legendary armor doesn't really do much. The only thing that legendary armor does is it gives you a higher main stat. Now let's talk about the gear stats, right? Gear, your helmet is always going to have an HP percentage main stat. Your armor is going to have defense, flat defense. Now, flat defense in this game is better than defense percentage, so do not get it twisted. Your gloves are going to have accuracy, and flat defense, flat evasion, and health percentage for your boots. Now, these are fixed main stats. You can't change them. You're only going to farm your armor for the gear set and the substats. Only these two. If you get a higher rarity and the okay substats, then you can change it. But if you get a higher rarity and the substats are worse, then just do not change it, because you're mainly going for the substats, not the main stat, right? I don't need health percentage on Noah. It helps for survivability, but it's not a must. I want attack percentage, crit damage, speed, crit damage, crit chance, right? Speed, crit damage, crit chance. Speed, crit damage, crit chance. That's what I want on my Noah. Best case scenario. Now your weapons, what you want on your weapon is you want attack percentage, substat, and good. I'm sorry. Okay, let me actually explain it from the start. I didn't explain this about the weapons. Your weapons have two main stats, not one. Attack, flat attack, which is the default. Every weapon is going to have flat attack, but the second main stat is going to either be attack percentage, health percentage, or defense percentage. It's random, right? You can't choose. So these are going to be this is going to be the RNG factor of your weapons. It's going to be either defense percentage, health percentage, or attack percentage. The substats are also going to be another RNG factor. Your accessory actually only has one main stat, but the thing about it is it can have literally every single stat in the game. It can have resilience, effectiveness, evasion, accuracy, crit damage, crit chance, speed, health percentage, defense percentage, attack percentage. I am 99% positive on this that it can literally have any stat in the game, but the stat that you get depends on the boss that you farm. I'm also going to be talking about it when I make the Kate's Workshop guide, not right now. So your accessory is going to have only one main stat. Your weapon is going to have two main stats. The second one is random. The first one is fixed. And I think that's it. Right, now let's talk about breakthrough. This is pretty simple. You can break through your weapons and accessories. You cannot break through your armor by using the same star and the same rarity of your weapon or accessory. So if I want to break through my 6-star epic sword, I need to use other 6-star epic swords, right? But this is max breakthrough already, so I'm not going to be doing that. I can't do that. If I want to break through my legendary 5-star accessory, I need to use other legendary 5-star accessories, which I have none of, which is why I say legendary accessories and legendary weapons are not great to have, because unless you can maximize their potential, you can get the right class, the right substats, the high substat rules. You know, if you can get 4 other, you know, legendary accessories or weapons to max break through them, then at that point they become, you know, better than your epic weapon, which I have max breakthrough, you know, good substats, good main stat. I can use this on anyone. It's not tied to a specific class, which is why, you know, legendary weapons and legendary accessories are not actually that good to have. And I'll talk about that more in depth in the Kate's workshop video, which should come out in, you know, in a few days maybe. Anyways, now that I've talked about, I'm pretty sure I've talked about everything that I need to talk about. Now let's talk about the substats. Right. When you get to the enhanced page, when you go to Reforge, this is where your substats are going to be located. Now, as you can see, there is the yellow ones and then there's the orange ones. The orange ones are the ones that I upgraded or / reforged. The yellow ones are the ones that came naturally. Now, when I talk about high substat roll, I talk about my crit damage. My crit damage rolled the highest possible normal, you know, substat, which is 3. You can get 3 bars naturally, or you can get 2 bars, which is a medium, which is still okay. Then you can get the worst one, which is only 1 bar, which just adds another layer of RNG. Now it's random, right? The amount of bars you get is random, but the substat value itself, the substat value per bar that you get is fixed, depending on the star count. The substat value per bar is fixed depending on the star count. It is not tied to your weapon rarity. It's not tied to, I guess, your class type or your weapon class type. It's only tied to the star count, your weapon star count. If your weapon is a 6-star, 1 bar of speed is always going to be 3. 1 bar of crit chance is always going to be 3. 1 bar of crit damage is always going to be 4. Right? If your weapon is 6-star. Now, what does rarity have to do with substats? I have to go to inventory to explain this in a better detail. If I go to my boots are not reforged at all. You can see it's all yellow stars. Reforged will have orange stars. All yellow stars, and I already have all 4 substats already. Now, why is that good? Well, if I go to my unreforged 6-star weapon, I only have 3 substats. Now, what that does is it basically gives you an extra free reforge, because I will use this reforge once and it will go to my 4th substat because I haven't unlocked it yet. So this is going to be 1 reforge stat wasted. So the higher rarity, the less reforges you waste. So a legendary weapon is going to have more reforge potential than, you know, an epic weapon. But that doesn't necessarily mean that legendary armor or weapons are just straight up better, because if I go to, let's say if I go to this piece of equipment, actually let's go to one where I can show a good example. Yeah, let's go to this one, right? This one, even though it has 4 natural rolls, it has no good substats, and the only good substat had a low roll, had 1 roll. As you can see, it's +3. So unless I'm insanely lucky and I roll everything into speed, this piece is pointless, useless. Actually, it's useless regardless because it's crit damage. I don't want 18 + 18 on a crit damage set piece. So even though it gives you more, you know, reforge potential, you still have to get lucky with the high rolls regardless. So it's not necessarily that legendary is just straight up better. It's just, you know, another layer of RNG, and it kind of takes 1 layer of RNG off of, you know, the RNG layers. So as you, I'll show you the main stat values. 16 accuracy, 40 defense on a 6-star legendary, you know, gear. Now if I go to this one, it has 14 and 36. So the difference, you know, the TLDR is, the difference is not that significant. If you can get good epic gear with better substats, it would be infinitely better than trying to farm for legendary gear with good substats, because the difference is going to be minuscule, and legendary gear / equipment are generally not that much better than your epic equipment. So for a while, the end game gear is going to be looking all blue for a long while, until people can get the perfect legendary weapons, the perfect legendary accessories, and the perfect legendary armor, which is not going to happen for a while. Now, I should have mentioned this. I don't think I mentioned this. But when you go to enhance on your legendary accessories / armor, and you go to breakthrough, as you can see, I don't have a single 6-star accessory, legendary accessory that I can use to break through, but it is not impossible to actually break through this. If I go to arena, if I go to shop, if I go to stars memory, you can get Glue Knight, which is basically a free breakthrough, but you're spending 200 stars memory and you're spending 50 for the blue one, which do not buy the blue one. You get plenty of blue weapons and accessories already. You're not going to be needing any blue Glue Knight for a breakthrough. You're only going to be needing the red ones, and even the red ones 200 is just way too much, but it's an option, obviously, for whales maybe. But my point is, breakthroughs, like, it's not the only way that you use other weapons or accessories of the same star and the same rarity to be able to break through them. You can still do it with Glue Knight, but Glue Knight is so rare that you might as well just get, you know, other legendary 6-star gear to begin with. I think I've covered basically everything about gear. How long is the video? 60 minutes. Yeah, it's like 2 minutes shorter than the last one, which is a good improvement, I guess. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys maybe in the next one, which is probably going to be about Kate's workshop. I haven't decided yet, but see you guys in the next video.